Well, last year he picked up a major victory at Petaluma Speedway last October. He drove the Rick Spencer number 34 car for much of last season and is looking to do so again this year in 2023. Originally from Alberta, California, but now calling Paradise home, that is Justin Henry next on Getting Up to Speed. This broadcast is brought to you by Meat Freaks Jerky Club. Get the best jerky the world has to offer straight to your door by visiting meatfreaksjerkyclub.com. Pick your box and plan, tell them where to ship, and receive and enjoy. Log on to meatfreaksjerky.com and use promo code SPEED for 10% discount. Hello race fans, this is Ben Deathridge, host of Getting Up to Speed. In these interviews, we talk to sprint car drivers from the West Coast or beyond the West Coast that are coming to race, or drivers that are West Coast based that are going elsewhere to race. We hope you enjoy these interviews, and be sure and catch up on all the episodes, whether it be on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or YouTube. Well, joining me now, the pilot of the Rick Spencer number 34 sprint car, originally from Alberta, California, now calling Paradise home these days, Justin Henry. Justin, great to have you on Getting Up to Speed.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, Justin, we'll just get right into it. Last year had a little over a dozen starts in 360 competition, 13 starts, 6 top 10s produced, 4 top 5s, 3 podiums, and a win in October at Petaluma Speedway. Not a terrible year for you guys.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Most of those starts were in my own car. It's hard to make it out. Low budget team to do a whole bunch of races. So I pretty much can just race whenever I can.
Well, and then racing for Rick Spencer a little bit last year. How did that whole partnership develop?
Yeah, well, I guess that's kind of like any other ride. I got a random Facebook message one day, and it was from Rick. I've never met him, never talked to him in person, and he kind of just met me. Says, "Hey, come see me at Marysville at the end of the races." So we had a couple buddies. We went out there, watched races in the grandstands. Went and talked to him after. It wasn't a long talk. It was kind of short, simple. Hey, how you doing? I'm Rick. I'm Justin. Pretty much like it was a 3-minute conversation. And he said, we'll just keep in touch. And then 2 weeks later, I got a phone call Saturday morning. It was probably 10 o'clock or so. Rick's driver at the time, I think he called in sick, had a sick day. And he says, hey, you want to drive for me tonight? It was last minute, but, who's going to pass up a ride like that?
Sure.
So that's kind of how that deal started. Rick's the first guy to ever give me a chance, because I've been running my own car for the past 6 years. And I know it took me this long just to finally get someone to give me a chance, but I think it worked out pretty good so far.
Oh, that's super cool. How you get your first probably just jaw drop, like, oh my gosh, here's an opportunity, and it's like, wow, like mentally, how was that stressful? Like, wow, I got to get in race mode, like stat.
Yeah, for somebody to give me a chance, the whole thing that kept going through my head was don't suck.
Yeah.
And sometimes Mr. Opportunity only knocks once.
Sure.
You never know when, somebody else is going to ask you. But, I headed down to Placerville, and to be honest, I thought Rick was going to pull my seat out after the heat race. It didn't go very good to begin with. But after that, I had to run a B main. We rolled forward, transferred to the feature, and this was a Sprint Car Challenge Tour race at Placerville, one of the tracks that, I've struggled at for quite a while. And we started deep, I think 22nd, and then we climbed our way forward, finished 11th. We got hard charger of the night. And, I felt happy with myself. I feel like Rick was pretty happy with that, with the results there. And I just felt really, really good about myself being the first opportunity, and I ended it really well.
Well, that's super cool, because for people that don't know, Placerville, it attracts at least for a regular show on a Saturday night, at least 30 cars. You throw in the Sprint Car Challenge Tour, you're looking at close to 50, if not 60 cars.
Yeah, with that series and at that track, not only that series, but I think a local point show, there's a lot of guys that can win any night. I mean, there's a few guys, that run really well every night, but I think there's a lot of guys there that can almost win every weekend, especially with the Sprint Car Challenge Tour. That the competition steps up, and there's that many more guys that are really good. So even making the show for the series and the track is, I think, pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt. You had 4 feature starts there last season, and one resulted in a top 10. That had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That was in my own car, so I was really happy with that. My car, I've told myself, in order to put myself in position to possibly earn rides, I got to hit some of these big shows. And last year I started to do that, and the year before I started to go. I went down to Watsonville, I think, twice, and then this past year I went to Merced. And I think just to get in front of the right people, I guess, to give you that opportunity, you have to do well at these big shows. And fortunately, I don't know what Rick saw, but he saw something.
Sure.
He gave me a chance, and it worked out.
Well, and then last year also you weren't too bad at Marysville either. With 4 starts, you had 2 podiums, 2 top 5s, and 2 top 10s at that racetrack, which I know it's said multiple times, and it's like beating a dead horse, but it is a tough joint as well, because you have the guys that strictly race there that have that place down to a science, and then you've got young upcoming talent that is also very quick.
Yeah, Marysville's track conditions change drastically, so I don't think it's the same every weekend. I've ran there when it was really dry slick, and I've ran there when it was really heavy. And the last time we ran there, it was in Rick's car, and there was 2 lanes, so it was really good racing action. And we went from 13th to 3rd. Mm-hmm. So we had a good run there. Marysville isn't a bad place. I know there's guys that stick strictly to Marysville, and I think, they somewhat have an advantage. They race there every weekend, so they got it down, pretty good. And a lot of these upcoming guys, a lot of their first starts are there at Marysville. A lot of guys get their first win there. That's where I got my first win. It was a while ago, 2016, but it came at Marysville.
Sure. And speaking of wins and a place that the track conditions can change, last year getting the job done at Petaluma, that had to feel like a pretty good achievement.
Yeah, that was really good. It made me happy. It's been a while since I got a feature win, and that was in Dan Monhoff's car, the 35, and that thing kind of came together last minute. I think it was on a Thursday, and Dan said, "Oh, what the hell? Let's go run it." And we ended up winning the feature, and it was really good. The track, it was hit and miss, slick some spots and heavy in others, but we kept it clean, and I got a win. It kind of boosted my my confidence a little bit, just to know that, hey, I can somewhat still do this.
And were you guys rolling out of the box pretty good, or did you have to chase the car a little bit that night?
No, we rolled out, fairly decent. It wasn't bad at all. It was, pretty good right out of the gate. Dan, he works on his stuff really hard, and, obviously everybody knows that Sean Becker runs that car, and he's always fast.
Sure.
So, it's a really good car. I'm sure a lot of guys would love to drive that thing, and it just felt like a Cadillac right when we rolled it out of the trailer. It was really good.
That's awesome. That's it doesn't get any better than that, where you just kind of just can sit, or I wouldn't say relax, but just focus on, okay, I just got to drive this thing, versus worrying about, well, we should do, like playing guessing games and outguessing yourself.
Yeah, I think that's it. It kind of kills your confidence or your focus when you go out there and you're like, I don't know if this will work. You gotta be confident on the changes you make, and you're driving, just to be able to move forward. And I think that's kind of what it's all about. You can't go there guessing, I'm gonna lose. I don't know if this will work, that or the other.
Sure. Well, 2023, it's here. It's race season. Marysville getting 1 race in so far, despite all the wetness and the crazy weather that California has undergone. For you and your racing schedule, have you guys got a plan as far as like who you're going to race for and when you're going to be racing this season?
Well, it sounds like quite a few races this year in the 34 car. As soon as this weather wants to, cooperate, we'll go
Sure.
get racing. But it sounds pretty busy so far. As long as I hold it together, behind the steering wheel, it sounds really good. I just want to thank Rick and Dan. They're putting all their time and money into this thing just for letting me run it, and as many races as they want to run. I really appreciate it.
No doubt. Excellent car owners who've had, some storied names in there, and, have yourself in there, no doubt can make a storied name out of you.
Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to do it before I get too old.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as far as like any like team news or a schedule posted, is there a good way for people to go online and check out where you're going to be racing? Or have you figured out specifically some races that you've circled and you guys want to hit?
Well, there is no really schedule right now. I think it's just either Thursday or Friday before the race. I'll post on Facebook, just myself, my own personal Facebook account, where I'll be and what car I'll be in.
Okay.
As far as big races, I'm not too sure. There's probably going to be some sprint car challenge races. I like to hit all the big races where all the big guys show up, just to kind of see where I stack up with all of them.
Sure, no doubt. And you mentioned living in Paradise, the city of Paradise, California, which I gotta say, like I've stayed there for a couple times throughout the years, post major fire, and that is definitely a town that is rebounding in big ways, and it's great to see every time I come and revisit to see what's new.
Yeah, I like it up here. It's really nice. I can sit out here on the back porch, look up. I don't hear any sirens or people speeding by.
Sure.
It's really nice, and the town's rebuilding quite a bit. We just got a bunch of snow over here recently.
Yeah.
And it's finally gone, but now the rain is here.
Yeah.
But I like it up here. It's nice and quiet, not too crowded.
Mm-hmm.
I was up here just driving through before the fire, and man, there was so many trees around. But you look around now, a lot of them are gone and burned. But it's slowly coming back together. It's nice up here.
Well, and the town's growing back, and so is the foliage and the trees and everything. It seems like every time I take that, it's generally a late night drive up the Skyway is the road that links Chico to Paradise. It's a delightful drive, and then it's so gorgeous looking off the buttes and the canyons and everything that inhabit that area. It's wonderful.
Yeah, the drive going down to Chico, if you're going down there in the evening, sun setting a little bit, it's really nice. Of course, if you want a nice view like that, you're gonna spend some big money.
Sure.
But
Sure.
we don't have that. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad up here.
Awesome. Well, I know that you mentioned check out Facebook. I'm sure it's going to be a public post if people are wondering where you're going to be racing at. But as far as sponsors that you'd like to thank, anyone specific? I know that you mentioned Rick and Dan, but you're more than welcome to thank them again, or any specific other people or sponsors that have been helping you out or will be helping you out this upcoming race season.
Yeah, I think the only guy that was helping me with my paycheck for a long time, in my own car. And then there was one other guy, his name's Daryl Peterson. I've met him at an indoor go-kart track, probably 15, 16 years ago.
Okay.
And he's helped me out quite a bit. He's come on board just to help. He'll help out financially here and there, but he loves going out to the racetrack and just getting his elbows deep, hands dirty. And with Rick and Dan Lind, they're, I don't know, I just really appreciate what they've done so far. They spent a lot of their money and hard work getting that thing ready. And I'm just a lucky guy that gets to go drive it every weekend.
Hey,
But
that's
I'm
awesome.
really looking forward to this year. It sounds pretty good. Last year we didn't end it on a very good note. We tore up a car at Antioch, but we were leading the feature and just had a part failure. We've had really strong runs together, and I'm really looking forward to see what we can do this year.
Well, and I think our paths have been crossing quite a bit when it comes to, you mentioned indoor kart racing with the Red Bluff Outlaws.
Yeah, I've only driven a go-kart handful of times. I've never driven at Red Bluff. It's only been Cycling.
Sure.
But, I went up there the past 2 weekends, to help my brother out. He's driving for Kevin Serra. And unfortunately, he blew a motor this past weekend.
Yeah.
But, I've watched a couple guys out there at Red Bluff and Cycling. Some of these young guys coming up, they're pretty fast. And, see what they could do in a sprint car.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll translate pretty good. There's a lot of guys that have came up that have been pretty successful so far.
Well, I'll tell you, it's probably the cars that I get confused the most when it comes to announcing is Travis Henry in the 41 in the Sportsman and Rylan Shera in the 250s. And there was a time where I was getting them, mixed up a lot. But now I think I got the system down. I've made some sort of note on my paper.
Yeah, I think Travis is a little too big to run a 250.
you never know. So, but hey, Justin, it's been great having you here on this interview, and I'm really looking forward to see how you progress this season and what accomplishments you're able to achieve.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to this year.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Deatherage. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.